Okay, so let's start. Before speaking about all the master data that we need in order to execute a production process in Beas, I wanted to show you a few production concepts that are in our manufacturing process, in our manufacturing chain, that can help us to understand and to have a good vision about all the Beas production process and all the information that we need to get into the system in order to get the best results. Okay. So in here you will have the manufacturing chain. Okay. Imagine, for example, that our finished good are bottles of water. Okay. So in here, at the end of the change, we'll have that we are going to send our product to the clients, okay, or to the distribution centers. But before producing all of this, we will start with the raw material. Okay. In our case, can be the labels of the bottles, the water itself, and also the bottle. Okay. So in here we'll have all the raw material together, and we will have several workstations. What we know about the workstations on the system, we are going to call them resources. Okay, that is the part where first we fill the bottle with the water. Then we make the next step, that is going to be to label the bottle, and then we just put it into boxes, for example, and then we just deliver. Okay, so that kind of workstations are what we call resources. What about if we have different resources? For example, the filling and the labeling. We can call it a routing, which is a union of tasks where we set the time and the quantity that we are going to produce on that resource. Okay, on that point. Some of our processes in the manufacturing will require a quality control. That can be a person that will take a look on the bottle and says, well, it has the label okay, it has the quantity of the water at the top of the bottle, and depending on the different tests that we do, we just say that the product is okay or is not. Okay, so we will have the quality control. Also, we can find in our production process that we need maybe some tools in order to do the task on the workstation. For example, if we are going to paint and the person will need a brush, for example, that tool can be added to the system and to the specific item that we are going to be related. Maybe also in some other industries, we will have some raw material, maybe a semi-finished product, okay, and then doing another operation to get into the finished good. So in that case, we can call it a sub-assembly. For example, in this part, that we already have all the labels, and we are just taking a look, and we are producing the bottle and including the label, but also then we have to put it into boxes. That is going to be another operation. That is going to be another place. So the bottle itself with the water and the labeling can be a sub-assembly, and after that, when we are going to put it into different boxes, can be another with another raw material that is going to be the box. Then after that, we can have the finished product. Okay, so this is basically how our machines and our person and our items and all that information is going to be put into the system as different names according to our business, to our system, to our Beas. Okay. So we're going to have this example. Okay. In here, you will find that we have a bicycle. Okay, it's a kid's bicycle that will have several different raw materials or parts that we are going to assembly in order to make the complete bicycle. Okay, so what we have here is our layout, and now we are going to put all in this together, all this information into the system. So we are going to go through all the parts and how are we going to construct, to build this bicycle. There are several steps that has to be followed in order to create in a good way the master data in Beas. Okay, we can follow this process. This is the master data management. This is according to what we need to get into the system and according to the process flow, okay, in order to get to the item structure. Okay, so basically first we will have the item creation. Okay, that in here we'll include the raw material, the sub-assembly material, and the finished good. Okay, we put all the parameters and all the information that we need according to the item. Then after that we are going to maybe define or select a calendar that we already created on the system, or create a new one that is according to the production process. We can include here the holidays. We can include it here the main information that we need on the calendars, and also the shift definition, that in here we can say the time that the productive time on the machine, that is maybe 8 hours per day of if it is continuing manufacturing, we can say that it's 24 hours per day. And all of that information is going to be on the calendar and shift creation. After that, we're going to have the resource creation, which is what exactly the workstation that we are going to include from our manufacturing. This could be the resource, which is going to be a machine, or maybe it's going to be people. Okay, and in here we also create the time this machine is going to be productive. Okay, according to the information that we defined before, and also the cost related to the producing process. Okay, after that we have to create the routing. Okay, the routing is going to tell us exactly the setup time that the machine will have, and also about the setup, if we can use several workstation at the same time as in parallel. Okay, or if the capacity of one of the machines is full and we have another one, then we can alternate to that other workstation to produce the item, which we call the alternative resource. Okay, also in here, because we include the task that is going to be performed by the workstation, we can include the tools that are going to be assigned to the task. Okay, and after that, after we create all of this information, we will have the whole item structure that will involve which items are going to be consumed, that are going to be a raw material in order to produce our finished good, and all the tasks that we need to do in order to produce our finished good. Okay, so let's go to the system, okay, to check how this is all made. If you have any question or any doubt, I mean, we can go through at the moment, or we can do it at the end. It's up to you. Okay. So here we are on our system. Okay. And here we have the main menu. On the menu, we have under inventory and then item structure. Okay. And we will find all the information in here. All of our raw material, sub-assembly or finished good is going to be created at this moment, okay? And in this screen, okay? we can we can divide our items depending on the method of procurement, if they are purchase items, or they are sale item, or they are subassembly, with these icons. Okay, this box that is blue or purple, this is for raw material. These are for material that are in order of purchase. Okay, and we are going to define it like this way. When we have this folder, and that is a folder that is yellow, like the ones that we had on the system, these are for the finished good. These are for produced items. Okay, um, and the issue and the method of procurement are produced. We are going to see later where exactly we put this information in order to change the icon. Okay, and if we can see in here, we also have the operation, the routing, that is like this when it's a operation, an internal operation. We also have operations that maybe be milestones, or it can be external operation that you can define a different picture in here. But the default internal operation is going to be set like this. Okay. Okay, so we're going to be going through first the raw material, then all the resources, and then we finally go with the whole structure after we define all the information. So in here, you will find all the raw material that we are going to need according to our example, according to our bicycle, okay, that we have in here. In our bicycle, we will have the handlebar, okay, that is going to be this part, the hand grips that are going to be on the handlebar, okay, the headset that is going to be all the main structure of the bicycle, also the tires, okay, the seat tube, and the screws that we need to assemble these bicycle. Okay, so all of these, you're going to find it right here in the system, right here as raw material. If we go, for example, to the first one, okay, you have to first, you will have to assign an item number that is going to be the code, the item code for this item. Okay, then you can give the description. Okay, in this case, the item code, for example, is bicycle 001, but the description says that is the plastic hand grips. Okay, in here we also have on the main screen of Beas, we will have the screen like SAP is a structure. Okay, we have the general tab, we have the purchasing, the sales, inventory, the planning. We also have our calculation that is based on Beas calculation. We will have properties, remarks, and attachments. The main difference that we have in this specific screen are the tabs that we have in the upper side. There are the master data that is all related to the item. Okay, then the bill of material, that in the case of a purchase item, we will not have a bill of material, but if we're speaking on producing items that will consume raw material, we're going to see it here on the bill of material. We're going to see it on the next example, that is a finished good. But in here, for example, we do not have any information. We also have the routing, which are all the specific tasks that are going to be done on the workstation. But as I said before, like I said before, this is a purchase item, so the routing is going to be empty. There is another main information in here that is called the configurator. Beas allows for us to have different a product configurator that is based on a generic item. For example, I just produce bicycles, okay, but I produce bicycles that can have that can change the color, that can be in color red or in blue or in green, that also can have brakes, for example, or that can have pedals. So in here, what I can do is to do a product configurator. So in case I can select, well, if I select pedals, the cost of the bicycle can be different, okay? Or if I select another seat, it's going to cost more. And in here we can configure all of this to get all of this information and just make a simple work order. And then when we sell it, we just define the specific item that we are going to produce. And also, as we said before, there is the quality control that allow us for this item, for example, to say when I produce this item or when I receive this item from the supplier, I would like to do some quality control to guarantee my item for of being the right measures and with the right conditions in order to be produced or to be sell. Okay. So let's go to the main task, to the main tab, okay, which will include the specific information. As you can see, we have some SAP information, okay, the item group and the item type, but the main fields that we are going to define in here are the manufacturing data that are right on the general tab. That is, first one, the mode of procurement. This will mean uh, that this item is going to be bought by a supplier, okay? That is going to be a purchase item. Here we will have selection to produce or to buy, okay? In our case, it's going to be to buy. There is another important one that is the breakdown, which means that in here we can have that if we are going to have a material, an explosion of the list of the bill of material, or if it's going to be it's not going to have any other breakdown in between when we are calculating the requirements. Okay. Also, we have to select the unit bill of the unit of measure. Okay, in this case, it's going to be pieces, but we can define in here several unit of measure according to our item. As you can see, we have several examples. We can have kilograms. We can have feet. We can also include units that is not in here, but we can create a new one. Okay, and in here, for example, let's just take the pieces. We can say exactly how does we want this unit of measure to be defined. If it is going to have decimals on the quantity, and if we're going to round it by, for example, by zero point 0.5, or if we're going to round it up or off, that depends on how we are going to handle it. Okay. So in here you will have the unit of measure, and in here you can define, in this yellow arrow, you can define if you're going to have different unit of measure for this same item depending on the process. You can have a warehouse unit, okay, because maybe you storage this material, but you consume it in a different way because you consume it in kilograms, but the warehouse unit is in pieces because you round it in another manufacturing process. Also, we can have a different for sales or for purchase, okay? So this can be declared in here. Another important thing is the issue method. When we are consuming our raw material, we can do it automatically, okay? That in the time that we make the time receipt, in the time that we produce, we just say in the system that we are going to automatically issue this raw material, or also we can say that we can do it manually. So in this case, we do the time receipt on the system, and then we have to manually issue, manually consume this item. When we select the back flushing, uh, sorry, when we select in here how we are going to administrate the item, for example, if we have the serial numbers or the batches, when we select, for example, batches, the issue method is going to be automatically changed to manual because this is a different kind of issuing that is going to be managed differently than automatically. Okay. We also have the inventory data that is really important because in here we define how are we going to have our item into our warehouses. Okay, this comes from SAP, but also we have internal information within our warehouse, okay, where we define exactly for how are we going to manage this. If this warehouse is going to allow maybe reservations or allocations or only for production outflow, we can define it in here. Okay, so we have several information according to our warehouse that we can parametricize on Beas. Okay. The other information that comes is from the SAP, that we can include the information from our MRP and our lead time. Okay. Also, we can define these item properties. Okay, so this is a way that we can filter or that we can sort our items. For example, if this is if we produce, for example, bicycles but also cars, and we do not want to use the item group because this is completely different. We just want to assign that, for example, this is going to be on the for the bicycles, and we are going to declare that this item property 1 is called for bicycles. So this is another way to filter into the system. Okay. Another information that we can include is remarks, is information that we want to save on the item that is not relevant for the calculation and for the execution of the business process, but it can be useful for the people that manage this item. And also, as we have in SAP, we can also attach some pictures or some files that can include a specific information about this item. Okay, this is what we see when we speak about the raw material. Okay, so let's just see how about our our finished good. Okay, so in here you can see that this do not have any expand button because it does not have any bill of material or routing. As you can see in here that this is a finished good, we will have the expand button that will include all the bill of material that we already included into the item, and also all the routings that we are including. So in this case, let's go to the finished good. Okay, and as you can see in here, we have that it's a sale item. Okay, and the mode of procurement is produce. Okay, so in here we have produce. On our breakdown, we will have different information. We will have, for example, we can have a storage related items, which means that we are going to produce just to make inventory in our fabric. Okay, also we can have the order related items that are only related to sales order that comes from clients. Okay, so we're not going to do any further inventory. We just go about the demand that we have on the sales orders. Okay, we also have the phantom item that is going to be used when we are not going to a storage this item. This is only for making a step between the finished good, for example, and and the same and the raw material. Okay, for example, you can have, well, if we talk about the example that we had before, that is the bottle of water. If we have the labeling on the bottle, and the bottle already filled of water, and we are not going to storage this part of the item, what we can do is just to say that we have the bottle filled with water, and that can be our item, and we are going to use it on the next routing, for example, that is going to be included into the boxes. But we for that bottle, we are not going to storage. So that is the difference with the with this. Okay. So as you can see in here, as I said before, because this is a produced item, we are going to have in here in this tab the bill of material, that are all the material that we need in order to assemble our bicycle. As you can see in here, we have that for the plastic hand grips, we're going to need two, okay, because it goes one on the left hand and the other on the right hand. The handlebar is going to be just one. We're going to need just one screw, but for example, we're going to need two tires, okay? And we're going to need four screws in order to assemble that part of the bicycle. So in here, you will have exactly the quantity that is going to be required to assemble our finished good. In here, you say it. You have a more detailed screen of the bill of material, where you can assign in here two pieces for one finished good. You can make in here the ratio that is going to be from the finished good and the raw material. Also, you can assign at what point exactly on our producing we are going to consume this item, for example, this hand grip, and we can assign it in here. For example, it has the position 30 that we're going to see later, all the routing, but in the position 30 is where the handlebar assembly. So this is the moment when the hand grips are going to be consumed on our manufacturing chain. Okay. Also, because this is a finished good, as we said, we are going to have the different tasks according to our process. In here, we will have first to paint the, the, the bicycle, then to set the seat, then after that, we are going to set the handlebar, and last but not least, we are going to attach the tires. So as you can see, we're going to have four operations or four routings in order to assemble our finished good. If we go to the first one, that is our painting, and we double click it, we will have the routing position, okay, and it's going to have a resource assigned, okay. What is the resource? As I said before, the resource is the workstation at the moment that we're going to produce, okay. For example, in this moment, the resource is the paint, okay, and it's going to be done on a machine. So on the type of resource, it's going to be a machine. The other important part is if we are going to make the capacity planning to be calculated, which means that at the moment that we are going to produce, we have to take a look on our resource to see if we have time to produce this item at the moment that we want, at the day that we need, at the hours that we need. Okay. Also, you can say how is this workstation working. Maybe it's going 100% the productivity that it has, or maybe it's going just half. So in here, instead of saying that if the maximum time that we have for this machine is, for example, 8 hours, and we say that is 50%, it only going to be 4 hours produced. Okay, no matter if we use 24 hours of the machine productivity is going to be only 4 hours. This is going to take what it takes to produce in 4 hours the pieces that we need. Okay. Another important thing in here is how are we going to schedule our our resource. Okay. In this part, we have in here that we said that the capacity plan is 8 hours per day. Okay. And the number of machines, because you can have two machines that are similar and that you wanted to have it on the same resource, but in our case we're going to see just one machine. Okay. And in here, you can also schedule the shift resource. If it is going to be 8 hours, but it is going to be split in 4 hours, then 1 hour break, and then 4 other hours. And this all information is going to be assigned on our schedule in our calendar. Okay, so in here you can see that every day on all the working days that are from Monday through Friday, we're going to have 8 hours available out of 8 hours. Okay, in here you will find, if I change this and I let me just go to the general. It's just that it does not look good. Okay, let's just go again. If we go here and we change and we say now we are going to have two machines. Okay, so instead of having 8 hours, because we have two machines, it's going to say that per day we're going to have 16 hours. If we recalculate and we say that we start recalculating on this date, as you can see, is from this day on we will have 16 hours to produce on this exactly machine. Okay, you can play with these two things, with these two parameters, in order to have the productive moment per day according to your resources, according to the people that you have on the workstation, and the time that you're going to produce on your business. Okay. Also, we have this tab that is called cost, where you can define exactly how much does it going to cost to use this machine at the moment. Okay. In this moment, we will have the cost, for example, is 2, that is the marginal. And if we include any tax or any other things that we have, we can manage different costs. And we have the full cost that is going to be 3. And the cost element is going to be for the machine. We can define several elements, okay, that can be assigned to the cost. Also, we can expand our cost elements in here. For example, we can say that it's going to be 4, and in here you can see that many other things are displayed. We have the setup cost if we want to separate all the costs on the specific workstation. Okay, that just depend on how you want to handle. Also, if you want to handle the labor cost separately, you can just select the flag, and you will see that this field is visible now. Okay. Also, like all the rest of our master data, we have a attachment that we can include pictures, or we can include also files according to PDF files, Excel files that we can assign into our resource. Okay. Also, a good other thing is that we can when we are going to make a maintenance, or if our machine is broken, we can define in here that is going to be an interruption in the system. So in those hours that are interrupted, we cannot use the machine to produce. And when we calculate on the MRP and when we create work orders, this time specific is not going to be entered on the producing time. Okay. Also, we can list all the maintenance orders according to this resource. Okay, that is more information that we can have. So then after the resource that has been created, we will have the routing position where we set exactly the time that we are going to spend on the setup for the machine, that we have to turn it on and we have to wait for warming up. And then also the time per piece, that in here we say that for one piece we're going to take 5 minutes, for example. So the specific time per unit that we need to have in order to produce. Okay. And also we can define how are we going to manage the time, that is going to be or hours or minutes. Okay. There are also more information if you have idle time between the production and after going to the next workstation, that you can define in here, and you define it in hours. Okay. And in case you're going to do a quality control under this routing, you can select in here which quality control are you going to do. Okay. Also, we will have another tabs. Okay. In here, you can define exactly which tools are you going to use in order to produce in this workstation, in this routing. Okay. For example, in here we have the bicycle brush, and in here what you just do is that you just assign exactly what tools are you going to use. Okay. Also, if there are resources that we're going to use as an alternative. Okay, because in here we're going to use this resource that is called the operation 3, that is called the painting, but we can also use the resource 1500, that is also the description painting, but this is a completely another resource which will include maybe a different setup time, or maybe a different time per unit. Okay, but you can define it in here. You can define it by clicking in new, and you can define in here how are you going to assign this information in order when if you need to use this alternative resource. Okay, you can define it in here. But also we can define a parallel that at the same time we can use it the some two resources. For example, I have another example in here just to make sure that we see it all. If we go to the routing, to this routing, as you can see here, we have the handlebar and the assembly, the handlebars and the tires assembly in this other scenario. So in this scenario, we have the handlebar that is going to be this one, this part. Okay, that this part is going to be the setup 10 minutes, and to set all the handlebar is going to take 30 minutes. But also we have in parallel, we have the tire assembly, which is going to be at the same time that you are including the handlebar, the maneuver, we can also include the tires. So in here, we will have a different setup time. We're going to need 10 minutes just to set up all the workstation, and just 20 minutes to assembly the tires on the bicycle. Okay, so in here you can define whether or not you're going to do to use two workstation at a time, or if the capacity of the resource is full, you can do an alternate resource at the time. Okay, so in the routing position is where you can define that information, and also you can attach some pictures about the routing information. Okay, in on the routing information, you can define also the type of the routing at the moment. For example, this type is going to be an internal operation. This is going to be for assembly, but we also can have different types of operation. As I said before, we can have the external operation, okay? We can have an operation that is called inspection, or we can have another example that can be the project cost. If we go for in our scenario that we have the assembly operation, in here what we can define is how is this routing is going to be treated, is going to be managed. For example, in this one, at the moment that we start producing, we are going to need to have a time receipt, okay? The work order that we do is going to have require a time enter. We need to require enter, and also we will have to confirm, for example. In the opposite of the internal one, we have the external operation, for example. And in here, we have to create a purchase order. So we have to define a different thing. And also we define here a different flag that is going to be called for the external operation. Also, you can define a different icon, okay, as you wish. We have many icons, okay, that you can select, and also you can change the color of of the of the text according to what you do in here. For example, we're going to put well, let's just say that it's going to all be in red, okay. So after I click on here in OK, and for example in here, you can see that in here the font, the color of the font has changed, the color of the letter. So in here you can define it. This functionality that can change the pictures and the colors is in every other functionality for our master data. This is some information that can help you out to 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 differ from other master data that you have. So based on what we saw, okay, we can have the first scenario that is going to be the simplest one, okay, that in here you will have a bill of material, okay, we need all these parts to produce this bicycle, okay, and you will have all these tasks, okay. But what about these tiny numbers that are in here, the number 30, for example, the number 20. This means that at the moment that we are going to produce, these first three are going to be consumed on the operation number 30, the position number 30, that is about the handlebars assembly. The other three are going to be on the seat assembly, okay? The first one, that is the metal headset, that is the only one that is going to be painted, is going to be on the first one, on the first routing, okay, on the first operation. And the last one, there are the tires assembly. As you can see, we have the tires, and the screw for the tires are going to be linked on the number 40 that are the tires, okay. Also in here, as you can see, we have the bill of material, and because of this routing that had an alternative in here, you can see the alternative resource that we can use if this resource is not available. You can see it here on the item structure, and you can see it with the icon that has the arrows in different ways, okay, as you can see, because you can alternate between this one and this one. And also we define a tool, so you can see it, you can display it in the item structure. We have another scenario for you guys that has the assembly, okay, that we are going to assemble the bicycle, but we are going to do it in two processes, in two main processes. We're going to have a bicycle sub-assembly that is going to only have, for example, that is going to only to have the seat, okay, the bill of material for the seat assembly, and for the headset, for the body of the bicycle. So in this case, we first assembly this part, And after we assemble this part, we go to the next part that is going to be the tires and the handlebar. Okay. So as you can see, this subassembly will have an operation, okay, that is the seat assembly, which includes the painting of the headset and the seat assembly, okay. And in here you can see that we have a parallel because both arrows are in the same way, in the same direction, and you can see that this part is for the seating and this part is for the painting, okay. And also on the second operation that we had that we have it for the second process on the producing, that is the rest of the assembly, is going to be the handlebar and the tires. So in here we see that we have another resource in parallel in order to do the handlebar and the tires at the same time. Okay, so as you can see in here, we have several ways to manage our item structure. It just depends on how your clients want it or how the business requirements are for the for the information. As you can see, for example, the subassembly, we are not going to storage this part. We just need this part, and after we finish assembly this, we are going for the finished good. So if we go under this item, I'm sorry, under this item, what you can take a look is that is also a produce one, and in here we can uncheck, for example, this if we are not going to storage it. So it depends on how the business requires are. Okay, so we cover all the main information about the item structure and about how to set up the master data with the most important fields on each parameter in the master data. So I don't know if you have any questions about what we just saw, and if so, we are feel free to ask. Just raise your hand and I can unmute you just to listen on the questions that you have, or any doubts or different scenarios that you have. It is all clear. Yes. Well, as I can see, there is no question for you guys. Um, Please feel free to contact us at any time. Okay, anytime that you need, we have our support email, that is support@boyumit.com. We also have the community of Boyum that in there you will find all the documentation and how to do different procedures and articles about Beas and about the master data. And if you have any other questions or any other more information that we can give you, just contact us and we will be pleased to help you guys. I hope you will find this useful to start the 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 world of Beas, and this is going to be just the first one, the first part, and you will start seeing all the functionalities based on this information that we just saw. So thanks again to all of you that can come to the webinar, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.